Okay, again, this is semantics. I encourage you to do more research, man. I don't want to belabor this.
It's the Constitution. I don't understand.
Do you know what a republic is?
Yes.
Okay, well, tell me the difference between a republic and a democracy.
So in a republic, you have representatives. And I'm not saying that we aren't both a republic and a democracy. In a democracy, we elect our leaders. In a republic, we elect representatives. So we vote for the representatives.
Yeah, so we're a republic. In a democracy, for example,
we vote.
Let me tell you what a democracy looks like.
What happens when a college student tries to lecture Charlie Kirk on democracy? Spoiler, it backfires. What started as a bold attempt to educate, Kirk quickly unraveled into a bigger showdown. Not just about politics, but about the very nature of America itself. Is this country truly a democracy? Or something fundamentally different?
Charlie Kirk, I would like to debate you on your claim that democracy is not an American value.
Okay. I mean, it's a very technical argument, but yes.
Okay, well, I say it is an American value because it's established in our Constitution and it creates elections in Article 1, Section 2 of our Constitution for Congress, and we're a democracy. We have democratic values.
Again, this is a semantic argument, but an important one. And so where does the word democracy appear in the Constitution?
Its definition appears in the Constitution.
But the word does not.
Why does that matter?
Hold on. As I say, it's a semantic argument. So therefore, in the Federalist Papers, which I'm guessing you are familiar with, right? Madison, Hamilton, and Jay wrote it as an explainer of the Constitution. When was democracy mentioned and how was it presented?
It's mentioned in our Constitution.
Okay, well, it's not though. The word is not. So what you're talking about is representative government, which of course we have. However, democracy is something completely different. Democracy, as was talked about in the Federalist Papers, was talked very negatively. Our own founders spoke negatively about democracy in our Federalist Papers. The authors of the Constitution went negative. You might say, but Charlie, we have elections. Of course we do. So what is the difference between democracy and a constitutional republic? There are big differences. In a democracy, the majority always wins with almost no breaks and no slowdowns of a check and balance system to protect freedoms and liberties. In a constitutional republic, the government starts with certain truth claims that are transcendent and irrefutable. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. The government is here to promote the general welfare, things of this nature. A democracy does not usually have the same kind of separation of powers. A true, actual democracy.
Yeah, we're not a pure democracy.
Right, but the word itself is not in any of our founding documents, and it was actually talked about negatively.
But the idea that we're not a democracy is ridiculous.
We're not,
we
though.
still vote.
But that's not the attribute. Like I said, that's representative government. It's a constitutional republic.
And
you're thinking way too simple about this. You got to go deeper. And I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just saying you got to broaden your horizon. Not every place that has elections is a democracy.
Right out of the gate, the student tried to ground his argument in the Constitution, pointing to elections as proof that democracy is at the core of America. But Kirk didn't let that slide. He cut in with a pointed question. Where's the word democracy in the Constitution? Spoiler alert, it's not there. That single pivot flipped the momentum, because if your opening argument leans on a concept the founding document never even mentions, you're already standing on shaky ground.
Right, but you also claimed that democracy is a majority rule.
Correct, yeah.
Do the presidents and do our politicians not have to win a majority amount of votes to?
No, they actually don't. They have to win a plurality of the electoral college.
The electoral college, but that's not a majority of.
No, actually, it's not. Think about it. You're actually not voting. You're voting for people to vote for you in the electoral college. You're actually voting for. No, see, that's different. That is a Republican. Hold on. A democracy is that you yourself would vote and there's nothing in the middle. A small r Republican form of government is you vote for people to vote for you. That's what you do with the House, the Senate, and the Electoral College. You actually aren't voting yourself. You're voting for people to go vote for you. The Electoral College gathers to then go cast a vote on your behalf. That's actually not you voting.
But that describes a representation, like representatives.
Of course, we agree on representative.
Right, and
that's not a democracy.
And we elect these representatives through democracy.
No, okay. Again, this is semantics. I encourage you to do more research, man. I don't want to like belabor this.
It's the Constitution. Like, I don't understand.
Do you know what a republic is?
Yes.
Okay, well, tell me the difference between a republic and a democracy.
So in a republic, you have representatives, and I'm not saying that we aren't both a republic and a democracy. In a democracy, we elect our leaders. In a republic, we elect representatives. So we vote for the representatives.
Yeah, so we're a republic. In a democracy, for example,
vote.
Let me tell you what a democracy looks like. They'd say, hey, today we're gonna have an up or down vote on universal health care, go to the ballot box. That's what democracy, you vote, exactly. Every person will vote on every single issue in a democracy. A lot of ballot referendums, a lot of things of that nature. Now, states can look in more that way. I don't wanna belabor this too much. I encourage you to just do more reading.
But it's an American value. It clearly
go ask Grok, what did the founding fathers believe? Go to Grok and say, what did the founding fathers say about democracy in the Federalist Papers, and did the word democracy appear in the Constitution?
That doesn't matter if democracy is specifically
okay, so then let me ask you, what is democracy? Define it.
Democracy is a system or government that's ran by elected leaders.
That's not the definition of democracy. It isn't. Thank you very much.
As the debate heated up, Kirk went deeper, pulling from the Federalist Papers and the founders' own distrust of pure democracy. This wasn't just wordplay, it was a full reframing. To Kirk, democracy wasn't a virtue, it was mob rule. What he defended instead was America's true design, a constitutional republic. That shift completely changed the terrain. Suddenly, the argument wasn't we vote, therefore democracy. It was not every vote equals democracy. A subtle distinction, but a crucial one, because it separates raw majority power from a system built to protect individual rights.
It's literally right here. The online definition is a system of government by the whole population.
Or whole population, exactly. Right. I am right. That's not what we have. We delegate our authority to elected leaders.
And they still have to have a majority. You still need a majority of Congress to vote on a bill?
No, they don't. We have pluralities. We also need actually 61% of the vote. In a Republican style of government, things are slower, they are arduous, and you have natural rights that are enshrined that the majority of the people cannot overturn. Thank you very much. I'm not going to keep on going this way.
Mutually exclusive.
They are actually at odds with one another. Again, this is not a civics course. You got to go do more research, man.
This isn't about civics. This is just basic.
Again, how about this? Go take 5 minutes, come back, and show me where the word democracy is in the Constitution. You can't find it because it doesn't exist.
The student walked in with confidence, convinced that democracy is baked into America's DNA. It's a common mindset. After all, most of us grew up hearing teachers, politicians, and media outlets say over and over, we live in a democracy. On the surface, it sounds obvious. We hold elections. We cast ballots. We pick our leaders. Case closed. Right? But Kirk immediately undercut that certainty. He pointed out the word democracy never appears in the Constitution. That wasn't a word game. It was a precision strike. The founders left it out for a reason. And when Kirk leaned on the Federalist Papers, the ground shifted even more. The architects of America weren't neutral on democracy. They were openly hostile. They saw it as unstable, dangerous, and vulnerable to mob rule. To be why reminding the audience of that history, Kirk reframed the argument. America was never designed to be a democracy in the textbook sense. It was designed to be a republic with guardrails around individual rights. That became crystal clear when Kirk dropped his gun rights hypothetical. What if 51% voted to abolish the Second Amendment? That question cut deep because it showed how raw majority rule can strip away freedoms in an instant. In a republic, rights are insulated from those swings of public opinion. Suddenly, the debate wasn't about semantics. It was about survival, and that's where the student stumbled. Instead of digging deeper, he tried to redefine democracy itself as government run by elected leaders, which is, ironically, the definition of a republic. In trying to defend the label, his argument collapsed into contradiction. Once that happened, it wasn't about history anymore. It was about credibility. And the student had lost it. Here's the bigger takeaway. Democracy has become a buzzword in American culture, a stand-in for good government. But as Kirk argued, that mindset is lazy and dangerous. A republic isn't just different from a democracy. It's stronger. It slows things down, forces debate, and ensures no fleeting majority can bulldoze the fundamental rights of the minority. That's not a flaw in the system. That is the system that so the real lesson from this exchange isn't just that one student got outmaneuvered. It's about us. Are we actually using the right terms when we talk about America's values? Do we really understand the protections built into our system? Or are we blindly repeating a feel-good word because it's been drilled into us since grade school? That's the wake-up call Kirk delivered. Whether you agree with his politics or not, the argument forces sharper thinking. And that's healthy. Debates like this strip away slogans and remind us that liberty isn't guaranteed by popularity contests. It's protected by a framework built with foresight and caution. The student may have walked away frustrated, but the audience walked away with something more valuable: clarity. And in an age of buzzwords and political spin, clarity is exactly what we need. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next one.